so I will find a way. It took a minute, now it didn't happen right away. When it get hot in the kitchen, you decide to stay. That's how it winners made. Stick a fork in the hater on my dinner plate. I walk into the fire like it's just a bit of flame. I switch my style up, watch the money pile up. I'ma get rich with life.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Podcast, where we're featuring the athletes of the 2024 CrossFit Games semifinals. Tonight, I've got none other than Joe Pierro. What's going on, man?
How you doing? How you doing, Scott?
Are you Joe Daddy?
I'm Joe Daddy. I identify as Joe Daddy going forward.
Okay, cool.
That's what they're going to be calling me at semis when I beat some people in events.
All right, man. I also have to huge shout out to Keeping It Real. Became a new member today. You can support the channel by joining. Hit that join button. We made the lowest level to join as cheap as YouTube will let us, but that helps us pay for our trips, going to events, things like that, and the platform to put on the show. So thank you, Keeping It Real. So I got to start with this question, because last year you went team, and a person that used to be on this podcast way back in the day is Dex Hopkins. We used to do a show called Clydesdale After Dark, and he was my co-host on that. What's it like being on a team with that man?
One of the best experiences. Went from complete stranger to a really great friend. You know, we still talk weekly. Just a straight up good dude. You know, like I can't just positive things about Dex to say.
Yeah, me too, man. Like every time I'm with him, like the room lights up. Like it's just a better day when Dex is hanging out.
Yeah, I try getting into semis, man. We tried just picking some ways to get a media pass and stuff, get him there. And, I have a camera guy, video guy as well up here that we're trying to get down there, but CrossFit's making it real tough to really get some people behind the scenes at semis this year.
I got to pass. People should call me. Just saying.
Oh, okay. Okay. There you go.
So yeah. And I've been able to get people in on my team in the past. So I don't know. I think we're going to be doing some fun stuff next week.
There's a little lead right there, baby.
So
sliding in the DMs after.
So you were on a team, which with Brooke Haas, Christine Best. Christine Best was on the only team I ever sponsored with this podcast for a little event in Delaware. It was her and Kelsey Keel and Ashley Wozni did a little team, and we sponsored them. Christine's awesome. The team kind of underperformed at semis that year. Was it disappointing, and why you kind of went back to the individual?
Yeah. No, not the reason I went back to individual. Individual, I think, is a big buildup of, a lot of people out there saying, team doesn't matter. And going under Move Fast Lift Heavy last year was great, but that's our identity, right? Like me, KB, Brooke, and Dex were known as Move Fast Lift Heavy 365 last year. And, I think there's something to the sport where going individual has a lot more impact and, about individual fitness as well. Team, I really think you can hide certain people on certain things, and individual, you're left out there to dry if you do have a weakness.
Yeah, because you were on this show a couple years ago in our semifinal series with my partner, Kat.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, and that you went to the Granite Games that year.
Yeah, that Granite Games year was a big year of learning.
Yeah. Are you glad this year's inside?
I am glad it's inside. I'm more of a gamer now. I would say that even if it was outside, understanding that we're all outside on an even playing field, I wouldn't be sweating it at all, to be honest.
Yeah, and was that the year it was hot, or was it the year before?
The year before it was really hot. When we were at Granite Games in 2022, it had its times where it was hot on the turf, but it was very tolerable.
Okay. Yeah, because I just watched the end of the men's heat in Carson, and the men were getting to the shade as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I saw quick clips. I didn't get a chance to sit down and watch it yet, but that sun, there was nowhere to hide out there.
Yeah. And it's a long weekend. You don't want the sun draining you extra just because.
No, not at all. Yeah, every bit of energy.
So this season you go individual. Is that a Paper Street logo on your shirt?
That is support Gabe all the way. Great dude.
Frost right here.
Cheers. I got my Paper Street coffee cup downstairs. It's a little too late to be drinking.
Yeah. Today's my anniversary.
Oh, congratulations. There you go.
27
Happy
years
anniversary.
today. I've been with my wife, the love of my life.
Awesome.
And we just got
Huge
back
milestone.
from dinner and I am exhausted. And I get some work in tonight, so I'm having a little
espresso.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So are you with them or just you like Gabe a lot?
I'm with them. I'm with them just through Gabe, friends. We've been talking ever since CrossFit Crash. Last year when I went with the Move Fast Lift Heavy team out there, and me and him were sitting in the airport, and we were talking for a while because our flight got delayed like 3 hours, man. And he's honestly the reason I started drinking coffee again, because I stopped drinking coffee because I didn't want to let caffeine control me, because when I drink it, I'm off the walls and stuff. But then Paper Street Coffee showed up to my door, and I've been honestly buying it ever since.
Yeah, it's funny because last year in Pasadena, I was on a delayed flight, LAX. Him and I sat for like 3 hours in the airport there. So
Dude's a great dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably one of the best people I've met in the space over the last couple of years.
Yeah, and he's very local as well, right? He just opened a coffee shop that's about 20 minutes away from me.
So you do live in Jersey? That's the Jersey JP is authentic?
Yeah, born and raised.
And I know Gabe, he's pretty close to New York City, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure where his current location he's living now, but definitely Paper Street Coffee is probably 15, 20 minutes away from the George Washington Bridge, which is to New York.
Oh yeah. So when I went to college, my roommates were all from New York. One was from New Jersey. So Long Island, and then just across the river, Mike Bavona, he was in a little town there that you could see New York from. And so we would go up there on weekends just to hang out.
Nice. Yeah. Good spot up here. I don't see myself leaving. So I'm here to stay.
That was many, many moons ago, but we had a blast.
You got to relive it.
Yeah. So back to you, you're doing the individual thing, or do you have a coach this year? Are you still with Move Fast Lift Heavy, or are you separating from them?
I've had a coach for the last 6 years, Shaun, owner of Fortitude Fitness in Somerville, New Jersey. Very successful gym he has. I've been with him for 6 years, and he's been, every year I've gotten better and better. Obviously 2022, I made it individually to semifinals and went to Granite Games. And, the whole Move Fast Lift Heavy team thing was just me showing up to Move Fast and being blessed and getting involved with my teammates. But throughout that whole process and everything, I had my coach for the last 5 years, and I've stuck with him ever since. And every year has been getting better and better. And this is, I believe, going on year 5 or going on year 6 with him. And we're looking to put the best performance out this year so far out of all of them.
How important is it to trust that guy?
I don't even question him. I really don't. He tells me what I need to work on. I do have to let my guard down and basically tell him all the shit I suck at, because that's what I do weekly. Hypothetically, legless rope climbs, or I'll call my weakness out. Granite Games 2022, I got embarrassed. I tested the workout. It was 10 legless rope climbs for a time with the run in between. And I got dead last. I went out there messing around because I knew I was nowhere near close to the slowest time in any other semifinal or sanctional at that time. So I've been doing legless rope climbs at least 1 to 2 times a week for the last 2 years. And we're going to get to put them to the test now coming up.
When you see that ahead of you at a semifinal and you've been working on it so hard, do you look at that as an opportunity, or is there still some fear there?
there's definitely still fear there because watching Europe go last week, the legless row times weren't even a thought, right? No guy was slowed down by them. And I'm going to put myself in a position this year to make sure I can try to hang with the pack. And if that includes me blowing up to take a risk, that so be it. But, just having the one at a time thing with may it be the echo bike or the box jump overs in between, I think I'll be okay. I really do.
Yeah, I think people didn't realize by breaking them up like that, it gave the natural rest on that
Yes.
movement. And that's why it just it was a non-factor in Europe.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tested it already. And, I'm not going to lie. My times were close to some people. So I know the hay's in the barn. And when I did test it, I was coming off of a little food poisoning situation. So, I think I'm in a better spot right now. May it be a few weeks later.
Food poisoning.
Dude, I don't know what it was.
You want to happen going into semis.
It was a natural cut. Let me tell you that. I didn't eat for 5 days. I was puking because I was puking. I was puking because I smelled it. I was puking because I tasted it. I literally slept on the bathroom floor. That's how bad it was. And I think I weighed myself and I was down 15 pounds, 12. And that was the last time I weighed myself because, I got to eat for a performance. So I try to tend to hold my body weight below 200 just for the whole cardio side of things. But now's not the time to do that with all the high intensity involved.
How tall are you?
5'7".
Okay. It's when I see pictures of you and Dex, it's hard to tell because Dex is just a monster, right?
Yeah, he's fucking huge.
And so it's hard for me to gauge what your height was. And I couldn't remember from seeing you live last year.
Yeah, I give him a hug and I'm staring at his belly button,
Right. Yeah. We call him when I first had him on, he was mad because we stole the Clydesdale name. He thought that was his.
Oh man.
So, but he was late to the game. So before we get into all the semifinal stuff, you tried to kill Taylor.
Yeah, I did, and that was an experience because I started talking shit. I started getting the snowball rolling. And then, I'll pull out the excuses a little later on. When that food poisoning hit me the week before, I was too far in and I had to keep backing it up. So, with that being said, I brought my boy, Will Carter, who was going to be at semifinals as well, to handle the business. But we both came up a little too short. So
yeah. And
I'll be back.
So I was watching live as it all went down, right? You showed up in sombreros and I don't even know what they're called. The garments over
garb, just some garb, dude.
Was that a last minute decision?
That was fresh off of Amazon Wednesday. It's Cinco de Mayo on Sunday. It's Saturday. We gotta put it on. We were warming up with them on, and hoping we were getting on because it was an hour we were waiting, and we were warming up and we're doing our muscle ups and the freaking thing is flying over our heads and we're like, dude, we cannot do this workout with these things on.
So you show up in the full garb and the antics and everything. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, we had to definitely play into it a little bit,
So do you think in the evolution of this premise and show that more people are going to do that stuff?
I hope so. I mean, it's a memory. It's entertaining. Some people are, not everybody knows if they're going to get picked number one. Obviously they program a skier this week, so nobody wanted to call in, because not many people have a skier. But I definitely think it should happen, right? It's a memory, something funny for people to look back on. And I got that memory now. But next time I go on, I might take a little more serious, especially if I'm alone, because I'm coming for the money.
Yeah. And, the skier thing, the dude that was there, I actually interviewed him like a week and a half ago for this semifinal series. And I knew that he would, like, his strength was engine, and he tried to sell it all out in that first round. That was unreal. Like, it has so many cool moments with it.
I would have sold out too after watching him on the first round fumble the rings, or was that the second round he fumbled the rings? Whenever he fumbled the rings, that's when you knew, like, it's doable to beat him. And of course I'm at work watching it, and I'm like, damn, man, that's my opportunity. You know, any workouts under 8 minutes, sign me up. You know,
you've been in the sport for a little bit, and like things like that are what's going to grow the sport, right? More eyes, more attention. It's something you can show your friends that doesn't take a weekend to explain what the big thing is, right?
100%. Yeah, there's all storylines built in. It's a great time. You know, they stir the pot, right? Like they said earlier in the podcast, on Sevan's podcast, if they weren't talking shit, nobody would be tuning in, right?
Right. Well, and that's why the Dallin, Colton, Hopper, Taylor thing worked, right?
Oh, 100%. And rising tide raise all ships. You know, those guys are very well known in the sport and earn their spot. And having them four together, just watching them go, you can't match that. Like, I can't match that intensity doing quarterfinals workouts in my gym alone, you know, solo. So,
well, and my argument is that quarterfinals have to be programmed so well because you're threading a needle down so small now with only 40 people getting into these major regions that it has to be programmed well. And we don't usually get to see the workouts as spectators and fans. Like, we need more of that, and people are starving for it. You could run 5 of those shows throughout the weekend, and everybody would tune into all of them.
Yeah, I mean, it was to the point where I was, you know, I watched them go, but I was recording my videos, making them public, and sending them to everybody to get information as well. You know, their entertainment was great. I'm not a part of that, so I'm on my own journey. So I had my whole circle going, and I was texting everybody. I didn't give a shit who knew my time, right? Everybody in the East. I made all my videos public right away. I was like, I just want to get the information back. And shout out to Marquand for lying to me. Marquand Jones for lying to me on all the scores. Thank you, Marquand.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he lied on us. So now you get to go up head to head with him.
Yeah.
Next weekend. You going to destroy him?
I'm going to beat him in 4 workouts. I don't care what they are. 4 workouts, I'm beating him. He might beat me in 2. But I'll take the win over him for the weekend. I'm going to hurt more up here. I'm going to hurt way more up here.
So we have someone talking about a myth or a legend. You got to tell me truth or false. True or false. I once saw Joe eat a pie, a pizza, and then do Fran in under 2 minutes.
That is a myth.
That is a myth?
That is a myth. I mean, we'll do it. Me and John will do it. John is a stud. We will get after it though. I'll do the challenge. We got a nice pizza spot close by. We'll stop there beforehand, and then I'll rip Fran under 2 minutes. I think I got it in me. That said, John, shout out. Herd Athletics right there, baby. Taking me to semis.
Jay Birch's the gauntlet has been thrown down.
Yeah, you know, I'm putting myself out there, man. The hate's in the barn this year. You know, enough of the nice guy shit. Good job stuff. You know, I hope on that last run in that first workout, the 800-meter run 10 clean jerk, I pat somebody in the ass and say, yo, you're running slow as fuck right now. Yeah, well, I hope so.
When you do the Pizza Fran challenge, let me know. I'll send you a link. We'll broadcast it live.
Oh, I'll do that. I'll do that easily. Yeah, I will do that easily. We'll get back. We'll get back, and I'll use it as one of my prep workouts for the next competition I have 2 weeks after semis. Me and Will Carter signed up as a little support for a local comp at CrossFit Danbury with some of his boys. Awesome.
John Gonzalez again, Herd Athletics.
Let's go, baby.
All right. So cool. So yeah, that whole phenomenon that Sevan has started deserves a huge applause. I think it's what's going to grow the sport, and hopefully more people will take that as an example and create more and more content like that, so that more athletes get exposure. That's
Yeah, I like I said, I definitely put thought into my head, like with trying to get together with Will, posting it, going live. Like I'm not too tech. I'm not a techie guy. I'm just a dirty construction worker. So it was a great idea, but I just did not have all the moving parts and pieces to put it together.
so you're a construction worker. That's what you do during the day to support yourself.
Yes.
Is the dream to be a pro athlete?
Yeah. The dream is, it's a battle. It's definitely a battle, that whole pro athlete thing, because when construction gets slow, I'm in the electrical union, so we get laid off. We sit on the sidelines for a little bit, and not having that work makes CrossFit start to feel like work, on those days, and it's kind of a turnoff. Like I remember doing 2-a-days 3 or 4 years ago, and man, I was miserable. I would text my coach because he would have me do monostructural first thing in the morning. I'll get up out of bed, go right to the gym, do like rowing intervals, and I would just be like, dude, I quit. I'm not here. So I think it's a big balancing act, but I'm definitely open to giving it a try one more time. If everything goes well and we make some moves this year, because I'm trying to balance everything out and in a pretty good space mentally with the whole fitness side of things right now.
I'm really surprised at how many athletes I've talked to that echo what you're just saying. Like they want to work. Being a pro athlete only gives them too much time in the day. Like I talked to Tetlow. Tetlow's like, I'm in the Navy. That's my full-time gig. I have 90 minutes at lunch to go work out, and I have to be efficient and I have to be on it.
Yeah. Especially, got 2 kids as well, so I try to balance my time out. I really don't work out much during the week at all. I really capitalize on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday and Wednesday. Those will be my long days, but other than that, it's a quick 1-hour cardio session, because that's always been my weakness. So we're gonna put that to the test again after just doing monostructural for twice a week for years now. It's 2 years now, for 2 years.
Yeah. So now the workouts have been released. You've known them for a couple weeks. You said you've tested some of them with food poisoning. Does that mean they'll feel different when you get to the semis?
Whether I had food poisoning or not, there is nothing that can compare game speed. I can't resemble it in training. I did 2 comps this year, actually last year into this year over the off season. Meadowlands Classic, local New Jersey comp close by, and Metcon Rush in Maryland. And Meadowlands Classic, I had a lot of familiar faces there, right? I went out to Metcon Rush. I met Pete Mason, Dennis Samsonoff, Ben Wise, and I was just throwing down with them. Like I'm in my own bubble a lot, so they had great performances at the semifinals year before, and just being able to be in the mix with them, and just try to put myself in a position to be at the same pace with them and give myself a chance. It worked out great.
I love the guys at Metcon Rush. I think those are the competitions that are going to save CrossFit, and I'm calling them now the mid majors. Like they're not Rogue, they're not Dubai, they're not Wadapalooza. They're that next tier down, but they are phenomenal competitions. And they're starting to get that group of semifinalists that are getting really, really good.
Yeah, they crushed it last night. I did not know what to expect. Moved extremely smooth. Time domains were all over the board, which I got exposed on one of them due to not eating, of course. But they crushed it the weekend. Great flow of competition.
Yeah. And like Crash is doing it with the Crucible. There's just a lot of them out there. The beach brawls, all those kind of things. I think that's where you're going to see the most growth over the next few years. So
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Crash is growing at another level, man. JR, that gym is impressive. That's an honor to go to and try to be a part of that going forward. And I'm going to try to definitely prioritize that this year to make sure I get out there, because if there's anywhere I'm going to get exposed, it's at JR's competition.
Well, he has all the fun toys too.
Yeah, he's got everything.
We've got Shaun Neefsey.
That's my coach. There he is. There he is. The GOAT.
He's ready, folks.
He's got more belief in me than I do in myself. There's a lot of cardio at this damn competition, man. I feel like I should be an Olympic weightlifter with how much I love lifting weights.
And then Jay Birch is asking, is Joe from Jersey? Yeah, we talked about that right off the top. He's a Jersey guy.
Maybe I got to tag the Instagram handle next time, you know?
Yeah. And if you want to follow him on Instagram, it's Jersey JP.
Oh, yeah. I think there's an underscore in there between Jersey and JP.
Okay. Yeah. I was just doing it by memory.
Crushed it.
So you've started talking about all the cardio at semifinals this year. I've heard a lot of the athletes talk about how the first 3 days or the first 3 events are all fitness. That is to test like where your fitness level is. The last 3 events are all about execution.
Correct. I agree. And I also think it's a big spectacle on getting right. I feel like they're trying to get rid of moving day and get people to go to Sunday to watch, right? Because you got half the amount of points on the table, you know, get Saturday moving day out of there because then people want to go home Sunday. But I think you have to go Sunday to see all the points on the table and all the storylines, which it's kind of sad that they're not reslotting between workouts 5 and 6.
That's a crime.
And I checked it out and I get the reason that there's only 90 minutes of downtime, I think, from basically heat to heat. But it's a quick turnover, and I think it's a turnover we've never seen before in speed and competition, which is definitely going to test us for our recoverability. But I just think you have to reslot even if they lose 15 minutes of recovery.
You know, JR kind of debunked that because he was like, nobody's going to make that big of a move to lose that much time between those last 2 events and he said, if you ask every single athlete, if they've earned the right to be in that final heat, they'll want to be in that final heat regardless of the recovery time. Correct.
Exactly. And speaking from athlete side of things, 100%, I agree completely. You rise to the heats too, right? That's why the last heat, they move at speeds that, first heat, it looks like JV to varsity. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Well, yeah, you're going to put salt in some stuff here and make me get pissy, but that's because of online competitions that we have people that end up in that first heat that aren't ready for prime time. But
yes.
And I don't even know, but like as a spectator, the story it tells, especially in the regions where they get 10 people to the games, when that final heat is 10 and you're coming in and those are the 10 that are in, depending on what happens in this last event, it tells the story so much better.
100%. I agree. And yeah, it's truly, I think, something they'll reevaluate because it seems like they're listening this year. At least we're not running on machines, right? We're running in 800 outside.
Yeah. I was hoping they listened before West Coast Classic and Oceania.
Yes, and they did change the run up, which is kind of a bitch move, I think. Let them do the freaking berm run up the hill, up the stairs for the spectacle. I mean, that's an honor to do that, and to change it.
So they still ran up the stairs. They just didn't do the berm.
Yeah, but I think you got to repeat it. Like, come on now, this ain't half-assed. Let's go all the way.
So you've admitted that's running is not your strength, right?
No, but I don't care. Expose me, I'll do it. But hey, listen, I don't know. Listen, my coach, he could run, and I was in his back pocket on intervals 2 weeks ago. So I might come out. I may come out and run. We'll find out.
But to have the opportunity to run this iconic run from the old days of the games, I think that's more important than is it exactly 800 meters.
Yeah, make me play. I'll take 40 plays so I can run that thing. Gladly.
Yeah, exactly. There's some things that, like my nutrition coach always says, memories over macros.
Correct.
Well, memories over a little bit falling 2 places behind in an event.
Correct. And it doesn't matter. You're not comparing event to event. You're comparing everybody at that one damn event. They're all doing the same workouts at the end of the day, so it doesn't matter.
Right. I'm so, and it didn't matter at the end of the day because I couldn't see it anyway. All we got to see is people in the tennis stadium because there were no cameras out there, because in North America we're just bitches and we can't film day one, even though Australia did it beautifully.
Correct. My limited tech side of things, I think I probably could figure that out if I had a solid week.
Yeah.
Which they had way more than that to figure it out.
Give me an iPhone and I'll send you a link and you can film it and we'll put it on here.
Damn right.
It's so stupid. All right. So with that, so you're going into the week, you've been preparing. What are you most looking forward to?
The after party. No, I'm kidding. I'm most looking forward to the Snatch event. I mean, that's clearly, but with looking forward to that so much and really going to try to make a move and hammer it home, I'd rather almost be moderate in the Snatch event and crush workout one, crush the legless rope climb one, because then that shows all that I've been working on for all these years is really paying off.
Yeah, it was really interesting in the West because, you know, Colton is a big subject, a subject that people talk about, and everybody's like, "There's no way he's going to do well in that run event."
I saw his time because I didn't even watch the event, and I was like, "That shit's amazing." He got fourth, right? Fifth. Yeah, Vellner got fourth.
Third in his heat, fifth overall.
Yeah, I told that to my boy. I was like, "Yo, he just took fifth in that event. This dude is the real deal."
Yeah. Like there's no way he's not making the games after showing that much improvement in something
exactly
he was weak at.
Listen, all 4'11" of him is making that games.
Yeah. And so but what he did is he proved that if you do work on those weaknesses, you can pull stuff off like that. And
I agree.
Beautiful.
I agree. And I do think a lot of it's mental, right? Because the big thing is I put the work in, he put the work in, you know, but making it happen on the competition floor and just trusting all the training is a complete different animal and a game in itself.
Jay Birch says, Joe is my kind of guy, blue collar badass.
We out here. Let's go, baby.
So what is your realistic goal going into the week?
My realistic goal is to try to, you said realistic. I'm going to go big here, but okay. Realistic. I want top half. And by top half, obviously that's top 20, but I every year seeing a little improvement, right? We placed 15th with the Move Fast Lift Heavy team. So I would love to match that as Indy or go 14th. Screw it. I want that game spot this year, the Hayes in the Barn, but I know the caliber of competition there, and I'm gonna do my best to be in the mix.
Do you have pride that you're in North America East, or is it like, shit, why do I have to get this draw?
I would say I have pride because it's their game and we're playing it, right? Like they can make whatever rule they want, but I'm still going to play it, right? And just like my coach said during quarterfinals, dude, it doesn't matter what these workouts are qualifying. And I was like, dude, I honestly, I believe that. Like I believe that. And it's truly a game of inches. And North America East, yeah, I thought it was the toughest, but then you look at the Europe when it comes to all the statistics and stuff, and Europe is clearly, I think, the heaviest top end, top ended average wise, but the top end performances in North America East are just stacked. And, you see games athletes after games athletes, and all the training camps are on the East Coast, right? So everybody and their mother from the training camps on the East Coast that are at those camps are showing up too. And, I'm here sitting not in a training camp. And that was one of the things CrossFit told us that we can't get a media pass. They said, well, you're part of a training camp. I said, no. They said, well, we're giving training camps media passes. I was like, all right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that one.
The rules, man. and oh my God. So I've been doing this since, so I was with Morning Chalk Up in 2021. So I did the semifinals with Morning Chalk Up in the games, left them, started my own thing.
Good thing you left.
Yeah. And ever since then I've had a media pass at everything, but we have to apply for every single event. And so this year they didn't let me know I was approved until 2 weeks before West Coast. How the hell do you get a hotel and a plane ticket at an affordable cost to fly clear across the country?
You don't. You truly don't. You're up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. You know, just like teams going first too, right? Teams go first. They book they're booking all the big stuff up. They're booking everything up. Individuals go. Now I'm like, first house I saw, I'm buying that. I'm like, this is gonna go. I need a place to sleep. The hotels in downtown Knoxville, I know nothing about downtown Knoxville. The hotels are through the roof. So I'm like, first Airbnb I saw, spiderwebs in the corner. I'm there. I'm taking it. That's what the review said. I said, okay, I'm taking it.
Our hotel at the games had bullet holes in it, but we made it, and we made it through the night, man.
That's it. Now you got the memory.
Yeah. And I'm staying Knoxville, I'm staying 10 miles outside of the city because I got notified so late.
Yeah, man. I'm 1.2 miles, and that was the only spot, one of 3 spots left. And it was 3 bedrooms, and I was like, I'm taking it. I had no questions about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish they'd figure out a better way to do all this, but
communication is a big thing, but yeah.
Well, Joe, this has been a blast, man. I try to keep these to 30 minutes. We are well past that.
Oh yeah, we are. We're chilling.
But it's been a blast hanging out with you. Good luck in Knoxville. I'll be there. Apparently I have pretty cool access, so we'll be doing some behind the scenes stuff while I'm there.
Hell yeah.
And we'll catch up with you then. Until then, man, good luck. And everybody in the chat, thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us. And we'll see everybody next time on the Clydesdale Media Podcast.
You the man, Scott. Thank you for everything you do, brother.